three types of elementary matrices. Elementary matrices are all square matrices. Okay. First type is in this form, In plus A into Eij. Eij represents matrix unit. A is non-zero and I is not equal to J here. Second type, formula looks like that, but you're removing two of the diagonal entries, and in the respective positions, you will add ones in the non-diagonal positions ij and ji. And in type 3, exactly in one of the diagonal position, you add a non-zero scalar. So these are the three types of elementary matrices. Then we looked at what are called elementary row operations. First type is where you multiply one row of a matrix, any one row of your choice, you multiply that with some number and add it to another row. Entire row, say row j is multiplied with a, and you add that to another row, say row I. That is elementary row operation of type 1. And then we had type 2, elementary row operation of type 2, where we are just interchanging any two of the rows. Okay, at a time you choose any two rows, say second row and the fourth row, then you just interchange them. Okay, so that the fourth row in the new matrix is in the second row position and second row appears in the fourth row position. That is type 2 elementary row operation. Type 3 is you choose one row of your choice and multiply that entire row with one fixed number, which we call as a scalar, non-zero scalar usually. You multiply that entire row with that number. You can multiply by 0 as well, but multiplying by 0 will simply give you a 0 row. Later, when we come to solving equations, that is not at all useful. So we usually see that the scalar by which we multiply a row is non-zero. So these are three types of elementary row operations. Respective elementary matrix. Those pictures were not that good. So what is type 1? You take E to be elementary matrix of type 1, say In plus A into Eij, where A is non-zero and I is not equal to J. And we had chosen A to be any matrix whose rows are R1, R2, etc. Rm, Rn. It had n rows and some p columns. If there are p columns, each of these rows will have exactly p number of entries. Keep that in mind. And then we looked at E into A. E was identity. So on the diagonals, you had all 1. And somewhere there is A. This is in the ijth place. And then you multiplied it with the matrix A. A could be of any order. Just see that the number of rows in A is same as n. Then by P, A had its first row as R1. It's ith row. This is the ith position. So ith row is Ri. Somewhere there is, say, Rj, jth row. And the last row is, of course, Rn. On multiplication, what was the effect? We checked with each of the row. What did we do? We multiplied the first row with each of the column, then we multiplied second row with each of the column, and we saw that the rows will remain the same except for the ith row. The change is happening only at the ith row. Rest all the rows are same as that of A. So first row will remain as R1 itself, basically because you are multiplying by the first row of the identity matrix. Matrix, you get back the same row. If you multiply by the first row of the identity matrix on the left side to any of the matrix, you will get back the first row of the given matrix A itself. Second row also is the same. Rj will also remain Rj, okay, jth row. Last row will also be Rn itself. The change is happening only in the ith row. What will happen to the ith row? How do you get the ith row of the product? You have to multiply the ith row of the first matrix, that is E, the ith row of this matrix, with the each of the column of the second matrix. That will give you the entire ith row. Here, remember here there is 1 present exactly in the diagonal position, that is ith position, and in ijth position there is a. When you multiply this row with each of the column, what happens? This 1 which is in the ith position gets multiplied with the entry in ri, and then this a, because it is in the jth place, it gets multiplied with the entry here. So you get the entry of ri plus a times the entry from rj every time. First column, 1 into this entry plus a into this entry. Second column, 1 into this entry plus a times the second entry. So what appears in the ith row is row I of a plus a times row j. This is the effect when you multiply any matrix A with rows R1, R2, etc. Rn on the left by elementary matrix of type 1. Or equivalently, what it does on left multiplication, it will multiply the jth row with the scalar A and add it to the ith row. That is precisely elementary row operation of type 1. So if you want to perform an elementary row operation of type 1 on a given matrix A, that is equivalent to multiplying by elementary matrix of type 1. Performing elementary row operation of type 1 is equivalent to multiplying on the left side by a suitable elementary matrix of type 1. Next, when you have E, which is of type 2, In plus Eij plus Eji minus Eii minus Ejj, I is not equal to j. And now if I take the same matrix A and multiply by this matrix E, what is going to happen? So 1 is there is 0, there is 0, and there is 1 again. This is the ith row place, and in the jth place there is 1. This is the jth row. There is 1 here in the jith position, and this is 0 in the jth position. This is multiplied. So I'm looking at EA now. The first row is R1, and somewhere you have Ri, and then comes Rj, Rn. It is not necessary Ri should be always above and Rj should be below. It can be the other way also. Ri may appear here and Rj may appear here. Okay, this Rj could be here. That is either I is greater than j or j is greater than j is greater than I, because I and j are different. If I write Rj here and Ri here, I should be careful. This will be the jth row, this will be the ith row. So which case you take, that depends on you. I usually write I first as the smaller number and j greater. What will happen in this case? Use the similar idea of multiplication, multiplying each row of the first matrix with each of the column. You can see that you will get back R1 as it is, because there is no change here in the identity matrix's first row. When you consider the ith row of the matrix E, ith row, here 1 is appearing the jth place. So when this ith row is multiplied, when that ith row, this row is multiplied with each of the column, what will happen? Every time this 1 gets multiplied with entries in the jth row, right? Because this 0 is in the ith place, you get 0 into the first entry, 0 into the second entry, etc., plus 1 into the entry from Rj. The 1 gets multiplied every time with the entry from the jth row. Therefore, but what did we do? We multiplied ith row with each of the column. When I'm multiplying ith row with each of the column, what I get is the ith row of the product, right? Now I'm trying to get the ith row of the product. But what are the entries that will come in the ith row of the product? The entries from Rj. That is because the 1 is getting multiplied with these numbers. And the entries from Ri will get multiplied with this 0. So in the ith row, there comes Rj, or the entire row Rj will appear here in the ith row. The same effect happens when you try to compute what is the jth row. If I want to find out what is the jth row of the product matrix EA, I have to multiply jth row of this matrix E, jth row, this row, jth row of the matrix E with each of the column. But look at jth row, it has 1 present in the ith place, right? So when I multiply row with this first column, 1 gets multiplied with the entry from Ri. I hope you are able to follow that. 1 gets multiplied with this, plus 0 into the other entries, plus this 0 into the star, etc., plus zeros. So everything gets multiplied with 0 except this entry. So that entry will appear here. Then again you multiply the jth row of E with the second column. What will happen? 1 again gets multiplied with the second entry of Ri. So that entry will appear here. So I will get in the jth place the ith row of the matrix A given to us. And rest all the other rows will remain as they are, because if you look at any other row of the matrix E, it will have 1 present in its diagonal place. Okay? 1 present in the diagonal place. So if I take any other kth row here, it will have 1 in the kth place. So it gets multiplied with the entries from row k itself. So the same row k will appear there. The only change happening is here between these two. So what has happened? After multiplying on the left side by elementary matrix of type 2 to this matrix A, whose rows were R1, R2, etc., it has interchanged the ith and the jth row. Suppose instead of I and j, if I take I to be 2 and j to be 4, okay, I to be 2 and j to be 4. That is, in E, you have second row and the fourth row having these differences. Here it is 2 second row, here I'll take the fourth row. Then in the resulting matrix, the second and the fourth row of the matrix A will get interchanged. Rest everything remains the same. Or I can conclude at this point that when you multiply a matrix A with the elementary matrix of type 2 on the left side, what is happening? The respective two of the rows, that is say ith and the jth rows, are getting interchanged, which is precisely elementary row operation of type 2. So multiplying on the left of a matrix by elementary matrix of type 2 is equivalent to performing elementary row operation of type 2. Next, I'll take elementary matrix of type 3. I can be any number here. This is in the diagonal place where that non-zero scalar E is introduced. Now, once again, I look at EA. E is all ones, and in exactly one diagonal position, there is some other scalar C. Okay? Rest everything is 0. In this ith place, let me take it in the ith place, because here it is EII, I. And then we have the matrix A. I don't have to write jth row now in the matrix A, because J will not appear anywhere. Jth row is still the same of identity. I'll write R1, there is Ri, and then Rn. So these are the rows of the matrix A, which is of order n by p. Okay. Now what will happen? Now what is going to happen? First row 1 0 0. So when I multiply with each of the column, I'll get back the entries of R1. So R1 as it is. When I multiply the second row here, it is 0 1 all zeros. This is dash here. How is the second row? It has 0 1 in the second place, rest all zeros. So it gets that 1 gets multiplied with every entry from R2. So I'll get R2 back. So all other rows you'll get back. But what is going to happen? To the ith row of the product, I have to multiply this. What is that row? It has all zeros in it, and the only non-zero entry is C, which is present in the diagonal position. Keep that in mind. It is in the diagonal position. C is in the diagonal place. So this is in the diagonal place. So if I multiply the ith row of the first matrix with each of the column here, I would be getting the entire ith row. Okay, ith row with the first column gives me one entry. Ith row with the second column gives me the next entry. So if I do that with each of the column, I would get precisely the ith row of the product, EA. Now multiply the ith row with the first column. What will happen? 0 into the first entry, 0 into the second entry, etc. C gets multiplied with entry from Ri. This entry, okay, this entry gets multiplied with C. So whatever entry is there in Ri, that is getting multiplied with C. So that will appear here. And then the ith row, when it is multiplied with the second column, everything gets multiplied with 0, etc. plus C into this entry. So what appears here is I have to multiply whatever entry is there in Ri with the C. That is what you're going to get. So what is going to be Ri now? Can somebody tell me what is going to be the new or is there any change happening? Other rows are the same. What is Ri? What is not Ri? Ri was earlier the ith row. I want to know what is the ith row of the product matrix. Ith row of the product.
CRI.
C
C into
into
Ri.
RI.
That's all. It won't be Ri, Suresh. It will be C times Ri because this scalar C gets multiplied, right? So this will be C times Ri. So what the matrix E has done here, when E is multiplied on the left of a given matrix A, what it does, if it has a scalar C in the ith place on left multiplication, in the resulting matrix, all other rows will remain the same as that of A, but in the ith place, the entire row, in the ith row, every entry gets multiplied with C. Okay? Every entry gets multiplied with C, or left or multiplying a given matrix A on the left by elementary matrix of type 3. Type 3 is equivalent to performing elementary row operation of type 3. You recall what is elementary row operation of type 3? It is multiplying the given row, one of the row by a non-zero scalar. Here, on left multiplication by E, the ith row is getting multiplied with some scalar. We can look at some simple matrices. Say if I want to get an example for the third type elementary row operation and try connect it with the, say there is a matrix 1 3 7 2 4 6 1 0 0. I want the resulting matrix to be, now this is a 3 by, oh, I'll add one more column. It's a 3 by 4 matrix. Since it has 3 rows, on the left, if I am taking an elementary matrix, I have to take it of order 3 by 3 itself because it has 3 rows. If this matrix had 5 rows, I have to take here 5 by 5 elementary matrix. Now I want the resulting matrix to have same second and third rows, but I want the first row. First row here is 1 3 7 1. I want it to be 3 9 21 3. So I want a matrix here, elementary matrix, which on multiplication to this matrix should give me a matrix where the second and the second and the third row should be same as that of this matrix, but the first row should have the entries 3 9 21 3. Can you see some pattern here if I compare it with the first row? What I've done to the entries of the first row of the given matrix?
Multiplied
1
with 3.
by 3 multiplied by 3. So I want the first row to get multiplied with 3. So what is that elementary matrix I have to take? I have to take elementary matrix of type 3 because you are multiplying exactly one row of the matrix by a scalar where the scalar is 3. And you want the row to be the first row where the first row is getting multiplied by 3. So the elementary matrix that I have to use of type 3 should be 3 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. If you use this matrix, you'll get that. Instead of this, suppose I had kept the first row entries as they are, and if I had multiplied the second row by 3, I should have taken here elementary matrix of type 3, but here I should have taken 3, and in 1 1 and 3 3th position, I should have taken 1 itself. So whichever row you want to multiply with some number, that number should be in the respective position of that elementary matrix of type 2. Now let me take the same matrix 1 3 7 1 2 4 6 0 1 0 1. These questions, such kind of questions, nobody will ask in MSc classes or in your exams or evaluations. But the idea should be clear to you. If I want some change in the matrix, that is equivalent to what? So you should be able to connect the idea of matrix multiplication with that of row operations. It's of no use simply knowing what is the formula for multiplying two matrices. You should be able to understand what is the effect, okay, when you multiply by a matrix. Suppose I want the resulting matrix to be now 2 4 6 0 1 3 7 1 1 0 0 1. So what has happened to this matrix here?
Interchanging row. Interchanging the row.
Yes. I have interchanged the first two rows, right? I have interchanged the first two rows. So which matrix if I take here, that effect will happen? Interchanging of two rows, type 2. So I have to find out or I have to use the elementary matrix of type 2. Can you give me the suitable elementary matrix of type 2? Order 3. What should I take the first row as?
0 1
0 1 0.
0 1 0 and then 1 0 0 0 0 1. Since the third row is as it is, I should see that I take the row of the identity matrix there in the same position. Here I have made the changes with the first and the second row. Okay, 1 1th entry is made 0, 2 2th entry is made 0, and 1 is appearing in 1 2th position and in 2 1th position. If I multiply this matrix here, I will not use the actual formula now because I know even if I don't manually multiply these two, I know exactly that this is going to be the matrix. Suppose I take, or if I go one more step forward, that I'll interchange, but that is not elementary matrix. Okay, here in this matrix, I'll do one more change. That is, I'll interchange the second and third once again, so that this row will appear here and this will go there. What will happen is these two rows will get interchanged. So you can perform a set of elementary row operations also. That's also allowed. But at a time, you multiply by one elementary matrix, it gives you one row effect. That's all. And suppose I want to multiply one row and add it to another row, then I have to try taking elementary matrix of type 1. Keep that in mind. Type 1. Next, we will be proving that these elementary matrices, those three types, all the three will be invertible. Okay, we will be proving that all the three types of elementary matrices are invertible matrices. But in proving that, since the formula of each of the elementary matrix makes use of these matrix units, okay, if you look at any of the elementary matrix, you see their formula involves matrix units. What are matrix units? A matrix of any order which has a 1 in exactly one position and rest everything is 0. Okay, such matrix are matrix units. We will multiply two matrix units and find out what is going to be the resulting matrix, because that product will appear in that proof where you will be proving that elementary matrices are invertible. There are three types. Separately, we will justify that all the three types of elementary matrices are invertible. And not only that, we will see that their inverses are also elementary of the same type. That's interesting. Elementary matrices of each type will be invertible. Not only that, their inverses happen to be elementary of the same type. So before proving that, a small note with regard to multiplication of matrix units. Let Eij and EKL be matrix units of order. Remember, matrix units need not be square, they can be of any order. Of order m by n, and I'll take another one of order n by p respectively. That is, I'm taking Eij of order m by n, m rows and n columns. I'm taking EKL of order n by p, m rows and p columns. So these numbers I and j, they should be between m and n. This I has to be between 1 and m, j has to be between 1 and n. Because the second number is always the column index. First number is the row index, right? So I can go at the maximum up to m, and j can go at the maximum up to n. Similarly, a k K can go up to N and L can go up to P. Keep that in mind. Maybe I can mention that here. I is from 1 to M. J is from 1 to N. It can be any of the number, one number, but that value is fixed for a given Eij. And K can be any of the number between 1 and N. And L can be any of the number between 1 and P. Now, I want to multiply these two matrices. And multiplication is defined because I have seen that in Eij, N is the number of columns, and in Ekl, N is the number of rows. So number of columns in the first is same as number of rows in number of columns in the first is same as number of rows in the second. That says the product is defined. So we want to check what is this product. What is it? Okay, Eij, Ekl. If you want to draw the picture, this is how it looks like. It could be of any order, so I've drawn it that way. M by N, N rows. There is some mistake. The picture doesn't look right because approximately what should happen is, if this is the size of the column, my matrix should have at least so many rows. Number of columns same as number of rows. Keep that in mind. So here it is N. P could be anything. N by P. Because this is Eij, what will happen? It will have one present in ijth position, some I and some j. We don't know what are I and j, but in exactly ijth position it has one. Rest all the entries are zeros. Keep that in mind. All other entries are zeros. Only here we have one. What about Ekl? Ekl has, say somewhere here there is kth row and somewhere here there is lth column. Then you'll have one here. This is K, this is L, rest everything is 0 because they are matrix units. Now I have to multiply these two. We'll consider two cases. One is when this J and K are same. When J is equal to K. Or first we'll take if J is not equal to K. That is good. If J and K are different, that is the column position, this J and this row position, if they are different. Just like we multiplied previously E and A, we will multiply the row of the first matrix with entire second matrix. So I'm not trying to analyze each of the entry. I'm trying to find out what are each of the rows. Okay, I'm trying to find out what are the rows in the product matrix. How do I get rows of the product matrix? If I want to get the first row of the product matrix, I have to multiply the first row of the first matrix with entire second matrix. If I want to get the second row of the product, if I want to get the second row of the product matrix, I have to take the second row of the first matrix and then multiply with the entire second matrix. That's how you find out. What will be the first row of this product? Look at the first row. If I is not equal to 1, suppose this I is not 1. See here in the ith row, there is 1 present. Suppose I is different from 1. Then in the first row, you will have only zeros, right? When that 0 row is multiplied with each of the column, what am I going to get? I'll get a 0 row itself. So if the first row has only zeros, in the product matrix also, I'll get a row of zeros in the first row. If the second row here is 0, when I multiply that second row with each of the column, what I get is the second row of the product, and second row will also have only zeros because all the entries of the second row are zeros. But I have to take care when I have to deal with this ith row because that's the only row having a 1 in it. Again, that's the only non-zero entry, rest everything is 0 there. So what happens if I take any other row of the matrix? So if I is not if J is not equal to K is the case now we are in, this is case 1. I'll write let J be not equal to K. Then I'll consider for any R which is different from I. What am I choosing? I'm choosing any number R, row index R, which is different from this I. And then I'm looking at the rth row. The rth row of the product. Product is this product I'm looking at, Eij into EKL is, how do I get rth row of the product matrix? How do I get rth row of the product matrix? I have to take the rth row of the first matrix, that is this matrix, and multiply with the entire second matrix. If I want to get the first row, I have to multiply first row with the entire second matrix. To get the second row, multiply second row with the entire second matrix. If I want to get in general rth row, a row in the rth position, I have to multiply the rth row of, this is the rth row of Eij, and then multiply it with the entire second matrix, that is EKL. Okay, EKL, the entire matrix. And I've taken R not equal to I. Because R is not equal to I, what are the entries in the rth row of Eij? Anybody? I'm
Zeros.
taking zeros, yes. Because R is not equal to I, it is only the ith row which has a 1 there. Rest all the rows have only 0. So this row is 0. And when a 0 row is multiplied with any matrix, what I get back is a 0 row itself. That says, when you multiply Eij and EKL in the resulting matrix, every row is going to be 0 other than the ith row. How many rows the product matrix will have? How many rows this product matrix will have? Just look at the order of Eij. It is m by n, and the second matrix is of order n by p. Then in the product, how many rows we'll get?
M rows.
M rows. Say if I'm multiplying a 2 by 3 matrix with a 3 by 7 matrix, the resulting matrix will have 2 rows. If I multiply a 10 by 2 matrix with a 2 by 5 matrix, the resulting matrix will have 10 rows. The number of rows is same as the number of rows of the first matrix, which is M here. Okay, so M. Among those M rows, all the rows except the ith row are already zeros. That's what we have verified. Next, we look at the ith row. So what is the ith row of the product? Ith row of Eij into EKL. How do you get it? I have to multiply the ith row of the first matrix, that is Eij, with the matrix EKL. Okay, EKL. This is EKL whose order is n by p. What is EKL? It has 1 present in the kth position here. Rest everything is 0. And how is the ith row of Eij? How is the ith row of Eij? The ith row of Eij has 1 present in the jth place. So I should write 1 here in the jth place, and rest everything is 0. Okay, rest everything is 0. Now try multiplying these two. I'm in the case 1 here. What is the case? Case 1 where J and K are different. Keep this in mind. I've taken the case J and K are different. Because J and K are different, assume that J is less than K. Okay? If J happens to be 3 and the K happens to be 5, so J is less than K, or J may be greater than K also possible. So somewhere here appears the Jth row, right? Somewhere here there will be Jth row present. Because J is also a number between 1 and n. K is also a number between 1 and n. And what is present in the jth row of the second matrix? All zeros. Everything is 0. Because the only 1 is present here in the kth row. Now if I multiply this row with each of the column, 0 into the first entry, plus 0 into the second entry, etc., plus 1 into this 0, 1 into 0, etc., plus 0 into 0, everything is 0. So the first entry is 0. This row with the second column, what will happen? 0 into the first entry, plus 0 into the second entry, etc., plus 1 into this 0, that's again 0, etc., plus here there is 0, 0 into whatever entry is here, that's also 0, so you'll get 0, second 0. And do that with each of the column. When you come to the nth column, what happens? In the nth column, there is one non-zero entry present. Otherwise, every other column has zero. So automatically you'll get only zeros. But in the nth column, you have a 1. We'll see what happens when this row is multiplied with the nth column. So 0 into 0 here, plus 0 into 0, etc. 1, this gets 1 gets multiplied with what? This 1 gets multiplied with an entry which is j in the jth place, in the jth row. That is still 0 there, right? 1 into 0, etc. This is some kth place, this is the kth place because I've taken j less than k case. K position also has a 0 there. That 0 will get multiplied with this 1. So I'll get 0 into 0 plus 0 into 0, etc. 1 into this 0, etc. plus 0 into this 1, etc. plus all zeros. So what I get in the nth position is also a 0. And rest everything because all other columns are zeros. So what has happened? In case 1, when j and k are different, these numbers j and k are different, all the rows except the ith row are already zeros. All other rows except the ith row are zeros. And surprisingly, ith row is also 0. Therefore, in this case 1, therefore, if j is not equal to k, if j is not equal to k, what is the product Eij into Ekl? This product is going to be a 0 matrix because we got all the rows to be zeros. So this is a 0 matrix. What 0 matrix? It's a 0 matrix of order m by p. 0 matrix of order m by p. I'm done with the slide, so I'll erase this. I'll erase this and then, or I will have to add a new slide. Let me do that. Yeah. Next case is when j is equal to k. Okay, we'll consider the case when j is equal to k. Case 1 was when j is not equal to k, this number, j is not equal to k. Next, we'll consider the case where j is equal to k. Case 2, if j is equal to k. So we have Eij, Ejl, j and k are equal, so I'll write it as Ejl. Okay, we have a matrix. So many columns and so many rows. If 1 is present somewhere here, this is I, and this is the jth place. See, this is the length here, j. So somewhere here comes j, 1, and L could be anything. But this position and this position is the same. I don't know whether you can see that. This position and this position, approximately this length. So G happens to be the fourth column. Here the fourth row has 1 present. So what happens to, remember here all the entries are zeros except this one, and that 1 is present in the ith row. As before, we'll consider any R. Consider any R not equal to I, where R is between 1 and M. This is M by P, M by N, this is N by P. Consider any R, then what is the rth row of the product? Quickly. How do I get rth row of the product if R is different from I? I have to take that row and multiply with the entire matrix. And what is rth row of this first matrix? Rth row of the first matrix, if I know that R is different from I, each of the other row is 0. So this is, I have to multiply as before. This idea is similar to the previous. I have to multiply that rth row of the first matrix, rth row of Eij, the rth row of Eij is this row. Remember, r not equal to I, so it is some other row other than the ith row, and they all have just zeros in them, so I've written a row of zeros. That is multiplied with the second matrix, which has a 1 present in its jth position. But whatever the second matrix is, the first row has only zeros in it. After multiplication, what happens? That says, even in Eij into Ejl, all the other rows except the ith row are still zeros. We will look at what is the ith row now. Ith row of Eij into Ejl is, what we have to do? I have to multiply the ith row with that entire second matrix. Remember, second matrix, it has 1 present in the jth position. There is 1. Remember, rest everything is 0 now. Matrix. And how about the ith row of the matrix Eij? Look at this ith row. It has all zeros in it, and it has 1 present in the J. So I have to write down that row. 0, zeros, 0, 1, zeros and zeros, and this is the jth place. That 1 is present in the jth place. Now multiply this row with the first column, this row with the second column. What are there in all the columns of the second matrix? All zeros. Yeah, all zeros there. First column has 0, second column has 0, third column has 0. Am I audible? Okay. So first column, second column, all the columns have zeros. And nth column has a 1 in it. Nth column has a 1, right? In the jth place. So if I multiply this row with each of the columns, what I get is 0. If I multiply this with the first column, I would get 0. If I multiply this row with the second column, I would get 0. But when this is multiplied with the nth column, what is going to happen? That is when I come to the nth position, when this row is multiplied with the nth column. How is the nth column? All zeros, but it has an integer 1 present. It has an integer 1 present in its jth place. In its jth place. And what happens? 0 into 0 plus 0 into 0, etc. This 1 is also in the jth place, right? So this 1 gets multiplied with this one. If those ones get multiplied, and everything is 0, 0 into 0 plus 0 into 0, etc. plus 1 into 1 and plus 0 into 0. So I'll get 1 and rest everything is 0 because all the next columns are also 0 columns. If I multiply a column of zeros with this row, I'll get 0. So what is it now? Earlier in j not equal to k case, I got all the rows to be 0, right? In the earlier case, I got all the rows. All rth rows are zeros and the ith row is also 0. So I got the 0 matrix. Now in the case when j is equal to k, all the other rows have only zeros in it. 0 row it is. And what about the ith row? When I simplified the ith row by multiplying the ith row of Eij with the second matrix, I get a 1 in the nth position. Therefore, the matrix Eij into Ejl is equal to, can someone tell me what is that matrix? Order is m by p, of course, because m by n multiplied with n by p. First row 0, second row 0, etc. The ith row, if this is the ith row of the matrix, the ith row has a 1 present in it. In which position? In the nth position. And rest everything is all zeros. What is that matrix? A matrix of order m by p having a 1 present in its ith row and nth column.
Matrix unit.
Yeah, can you give me the notation, Chriswin? What is the notation I have to use? E?
IL.
Yes, EIL, but it is of order m by p. Correct. So now we can make the conclusion. Thus, Eij into Ekl, this I've taken of order m by n, and the next one is of order n by p. This product is, I'll write a 0 here, 0 matrix of order m by p if j is not equal to k, and it is EIL of the same order m by p if j is equal to k. Okay. So just have to see that the product is defined, and for the matrix product to be defined, the number of columns in the first matrix should be same as the number of rows in the second matrix. That you have to take care. Then after that, if I multiply E12 with E41, if this, I should take suitable order. See, if I take this of order 5 by 7, this should be of order say 7 by 8 or something. This product immediately 0, because this number 2 and 4 are different. This will be a big 0 matrix of order 5 by 8. If I take E23, multiply it with say E41, this is a 0 matrix. And if the first one is of order say 5 by 5 and 5 by 5, and if next one is of order 5 by 2, this will be a 0 matrix of order